Hi, I'm Cleia Mazzeo. I was a visual merchandiser for 11 years before the pandemic hit. I worked for Macy's literally 3 months out of college, and pretty much the career fell like into my lap. It wasn't something I went to school for. It wasn't something I even really knew about. It was just something that kind of happened, but it was something that I became extremely passionate about and I loved, and probably would have still been there if it wasn't for the pandemic and if I didn't get pregnant. So there's that.
Listeners who don't know what visual merchandising is, can you give like a little like background of like what that entails?
Yeah. So visual merchandising is basically, if you listen to it, visual and then merchandising. So it's all visuals in a store and how it's merchandised. So you're pretty much creating a lifestyle and a story for people to like want when you go into a store, or an atmosphere. So it's how are you making something visually appealing for you to want to buy that. The aesthetic of the store, how does it look? What is the traffic flow? What is the architecture of a building? What are you trying to sell? What is the season? What is the trend? Is there any like graphic installations that need to be installed in a building, or on a wall, or um, what kind of visual promotions are going on during the time? So when you walk into anywhere, into a store, there's some kind of aesthetic that you see. And a lot of it is merchandising hand in hand with visual merchandising.
So
Yeah.
for the listeners, this is my sister, my another sister of mine. My third sister's trying to get on, but she's a nurse, so I don't really know if she qualifies for the creative side on this. But I obviously always remember you doing stuff creative in the house and everything. Like you said earlier, you didn't know you wanted to do this. So when you were a
Right.
kid, what was like your like dream goal?
So when you were like younger and I was in high school, I wanted to be an art teacher. Like that's what I loved. Like I loved art, I loved drawing, I loved everything. And then one day someone was like, "Why would you be a teacher? You make no money." And so something in my brain was like, "Okay, well maybe I'll go to school for fashion design." So I started going to the city. I don't know if you remember, but mommy would take me on Saturdays and Sundays to FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology, and I would do these like semesters for people before college.
Yeah.
And I literally learned how to like build my portfolio. In school, I did art and I also did sewing, and it was more so to get my portfolio built up to go to school to do fashion design. Um, and when I went, but I always loved art. It wasn't just about the designing the clothes and like making outfits. I liked like the whole process of it all, like the colors, the fabrics, drawing. But I always loved art, and it was really hard for me because when I graduated college, I never wanted, everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta like start your own company." Well, like that's like really hard to do. And like you're not just gonna like walk out of college and be like, Chanel or Prada or Gucci. Like that's not really like, it
Yeah.
doesn't really work that way. So I took maybe like 3 graphic design classes throughout like my career, and I went to my first interview ever. I remember I left and I got in the car. My dad actually took me that day. Mommy was working. And he said to me, I said, "I have to go back to school and to be something else."